yes, like this is not my fault. My hair falls out, I don't want, ooh, is it my fault? No. Anyway, oh my gosh. It's been so long, guys. We are talking about why I quit gymnastics. Oh my gosh, Angela, you did gymnastics? So very quick 30-second context. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my iPad for my notes. I did gymnastics for 7 years. I started when I was 9-10 years old and I quit when I was 17. I have a very sporty background. If you don't know, I did everything in school. Gymnastics was the only thing that I kind of did outside, but I did compete in other sports through my secondary school. So I did like rounders, athletics, trampolining, netball. Those were the main things I think that I competed in sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. I wasn't perfect, I'm not the fastest person, but I enjoyed it and I was good at what I did. I did high jump as well, I forgot to mention that. My inspirations were Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles, who are popping right now. Basically anyone in the American team, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Ali Raisman as well. What got me into gymnastics, or what was part of getting me in there, was 7 Gymnastics Girls, because I used to watch them after like school. So good. When I like began to get introduced into gymnastics, I fell in love with it. Like if I'm not talking about gymnastics, what am I talking about? How I do gymnastics. Did you know that I do gymnastics? I taught myself first, and then I asked my parents if I could enroll in a gym place. I started a club every Sunday when I was quite young, maybe 10. I had some skill, but they had to like teach me, refine it, because it wasn't like the correct form and everything, because I was teaching myself, which is cool. Context, I've been to 3 gymnastics clubs. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. 3 gymnastics clubs across 7 years. The first one I went every Sunday, and then I changed to every Friday, I think, at the same club. And then I did every Saturday at my second club. I did Wednesdays and Saturdays, I don't know. And then last club I did every Saturday. As I got older, time constraints, like with school and everything, I couldn't go gymnastics as often as other people did, which I don't know how they did it. I was very shy and I was very quiet, and that just kind of goes into just a lot of childhood things, but of kind of just the way that I was like very quiet and everything. I still am, but not like that. Essentially I'm the loudest in the house. Ask anybody here, I'm the loudest in the house. Like, I didn't talk to people. I didn't have friends. I didn't have gym friends. I didn't have friends there. I could have, but I was shy. And I don't know, like, for me, once I go quiet for like a bit, I just figure it in a way that I'm like, okay, well, I just might as well not talk now. Every time I spoke, I'm not saying like literally spoke, because like obviously I did like open my mouth, but like, I mean, like when I'd say things, it'd be like, oh my gosh, she speaks. And I've gotten that before. I've gotten that a lot of times, actually. I've gotten that a lot of my life. So in terms of like the social aspect, that was never there. My experience in a nutshell, when you're young, 10, 11, 12, you are happy with what you're learning and everything. But if you know me, I like to achieve things. I like to be good at things. I like to be excellent at things. I'm not saying I like to be the best, though that is a toxic mentality that I have had for most of my life that I'm working on. And when I feel like there's restrictions that are not allowing me to excel, that's when I'm like, okay, there's an issue here. So I think when it got to the point where I felt like I was being taught the same things, or like there were kind of, it just felt like every week there was no like progression in my skill, like where I'm trying to like level up and get better, and you're kind of not allowing me. And it comes in different forms, like if you know, in gymnastics and in any kind of sport like trampolining and all of that, you have spotters. So your spotter is usually your coach or sometimes your other gym member. And like even just simple things like me trying to say like, oh yeah, I can do this, and them like spotting me, like, you spotted me like 10 times, I can do it on my own now, like kind of not like trusting that I can do it. And I get it, because it's like you don't want somebody to get hurt, which is so valid, but at the same time, how will somebody learn if you're just always like there to spot? But As I was getting older, I decided that I wanted to become an Olympic gymnast. Like, that was actually a goal for me. So I was like, okay, I need to learn these things quickly. I need to be able, because people start getting in the Olympics when they're 16. I was like, what's going on here? I think I overstayed my time there, if I'm honest, but that was due to fear. That was due to thinking, oh, like, I'm wasting my parents' money. I don't want to feel bad. And I feel like that happened with all of my experiences at all 3 gym clubs, where I feel like I overstayed my time there. But you have to think of yourself sometimes, and it's an individual sport. You don't do group gymnastic routines. You compete on that floor, on that vault, on that bar, on that beam by yourself. So I moved to the second one when I was in secondary school, I think sometime, and it was good. Like, at first I was like, that was the first time I remember. The first ever taster session, round of back handspring, was a skill that's relatively intermediate, and I had not yet learned it at my other club. And you can imagine, like, if you are familiar, you'd think this is kind of like low-key basic, in a sense that how can you spend so long in a club and not learn it? I know, because I had done it and they were trying to spot me, and I was like, get off me, I can do it. And it's not like a self-righteous thing, like oh, like, I'm better than you, or like, I don't need your help. Of course I need your help, my darling. I could break my neck, but you kind of know, it's a feeling when you know that you're ready to kind of do something on your own. I remember so clearly the head coach in the taster session, they were doing like tumbles. So tumble, what do you call it? Tumble, like when basically you're in a line, you're tumbling, you go to the back and the next person tumbles, and then so on, so on, so on. So it got to the point, and she was like, got to me, and she was like, can you do a round of back handspring? As I fully said yes. I've never done it in my life. I said, yeah. She said, go. I said, okay, do it, yeah. She was like, okay, go. And I went, and I did it. My form was bad, yeah, 100%. My legs were not straight. My hands were probably bent. I mean, my arms were probably bent. But I blooming did it, mate. So to put my experience at that gym club in a nutshell, I competed a lot more, and I found my skill a lot more. They had coached me to do well and to be better, and corrected things that I guess the other gym club didn't teach me. But I kind of found that at all the gym clubs that I was at, like, all of them are kind of a bit different. So like, if you do something, they'll be like, no, that's wrong, like, do it this way. So I think they all kind of just teach a bit differently. But yeah, they helped me improve my form. They helped me increase in skill. I think that was probably the gym club that I increased in the most skill, which was great. And I was like, okay, cool, there's growth here. And then it kind of just plateaued. They gave me a lot of opportunities. Like, I competed more. That was the place I competed at more than any other place. Like, I was competing sometimes 2-3 times a year, and I had the opportunity to compete internationally. I think it was Italy, no, it was Portugal, I don't know. It was like in May, and it was exam season, and I was one of the older people in the gym, so I think I must have been in like year 10 at this time, and I had like mocks, and I was just like, well, I don't think I can go. Yeah, it was during mock week. One thing that I realized, guys, this is kind of one of the key points, so if you're gonna listen to anything, listen to this. In gymnastics, and I dare I say in a lot of sports, there is bias against people who are better, who are the best. And take this from somebody who competed in other sports at school. And I understand that there's more investment that goes into people who essentially make you win, make your name look good, make the school's name look good, make your gym club's name look good or whatever. So when I now was in gymnastics, I was at a decent level, but I wasn't exactly the best in the club. So the effort and the stress is going towards them. Now, I have views on this. I have views. I think that it's wrong. And the reason I say it's wrong, especially in a gym club, is because there are people paying for you to teach them. They're not paying for you to keep them at the same skill level. Like, if your desire is fame through your best gymnasts, that's great, that's fine. But if you are not able to manage that whilst coaching other people so that they can get to that level as well, why are you here? You have to invest time into everybody. Every single person is paying. Whether somebody's paying more and they're filling your bank account more, that's not my business. That's absolutely, whether they're paying because they're what's it called, they're doing gym 3 times a week, I don't care. That one time that I've come, you must coach me, and you must coach me well. And this is not a slander at all. I'm not saying they didn't teach me at all, but I'm saying, why is it that every club I went to, there was always a plateau? As I said, this is kind of an overarching theme across all clubs, so that you kind of have the context of why a lot of things went left. Yeah, then I'll be saucy in here. I'm gonna burp. I moved to another club when I was, I don't know what age, but later, so my last club. And I moved there. It wasn't my first choice. My first choice was another club, but it was too far out. Now that I look back, I always tell myself, it's not a regret, but it's like, I was old enough, because I was traveling by myself at that point. Like, my parents didn't have to drop me. I was old enough to travel, but I think the other place that I wanted to go was a bit far out, so it'd mean I have to travel a bit further. But if I was to go back, I would do it anyways, because it's not really that deep. It would have been worth it, just because that specific club had a rep for being really good. My experience there, they taught me a lot about form. Like, they had us doing drills, y'all. They would sit on you so that your splits would go all the way down. And one thing about me, my splits were fine, but when you get to box splits, I'm out. And it's so annoying, because when I was young, like, I was super flexible. Like, everything I'm doing, because when you're younger, obviously it's easier because your bones, blah blah blah, all of that science stuff. But it's, again, being like one of the oldest people and also tallest, and I'm gonna get into the whole tall thing, and I'm not even a tall girl, but we're gonna get into that. But I am a tall girl, because some of y'all on Instagram think that I am shorter in real life. But you see, the actual truth of what that is that you are wrong. See, some of you are believing a falsehood that is making you think that you can say that I am shorter in real life than in my pictures on Instagram. But if you was to dive deeper and look through the lens of the picture, you would see that I am as tall as I look on Instagram. Moving on. Lord Jesus, let me get paid to talk. The issue with this club, the plateau was actually quicker than usual, and I think that's when I hit the, like, I was like, yeah, I'm just not doing gymnastics anymore. But there were other things I'm gonna get into. I wanted to learn new things, and I just felt like I was ignored, like, straight up. Moving on to my experience with competitions. So I've competed a moderate amount of times in a lot of competitions, and I find that I don't always do the best. I think it was kind of related to just a lack of confidence in self and comparison as well. Having the backing that there's somebody believing in you also does help. So when you don't have somebody within the world that can kind of lift you up and make you feel good about yourself, or make you feel like you don't have to compete to somebody else's skill level, then it's a bit hard. And I'm not saying anybody overtly did that, but it kind of felt covert, like there's just a lot of pressure to be better. And again, I want to reiterate, a lot of the times I was the older person within the club, because I was persistent, because I wanted to be good at what I was doing. So the older person can be left in the shadows, but then when it comes to the competition, they're expected to maybe rise and be the best, because you're older, you're meant to have more skill, but the skill wasn't being taught. So every time I'd get to the point of competing, I'd almost choke, because like I had this like pressure in my stomach and in my chest, like, oh my gosh, like I need to do this. There's this competitive nature of like trying to be better, or not being interested in helping somebody else in a nice way, or helping somebody else in a way that is not overly critical, but rather in a way that should be constructive criticism. And I feel like I'm beating around the bush to essentially just say, I believe that your peers in gymnastics are able to help you because they understand the gymnastics language. So if you do something wrong, or if your leg is bent, or your toe isn't pointed, I feel like there's a way to constructively be like, oh yeah, next time maybe try this, or da-da-da-da. Especially like if you ask. Sometimes people give their opinion when you don't ask, and it's like, what? Or sometimes people try to play coach, and it's like, you're not. I accept criticism constructively, but there's a way to go about it so that you're not portraying coach. You are not coach. I just feel like, I don't know how to describe it, guys, in a way that would hopefully make sense to you. I've had experiences of people telling me what to do, especially people who were younger than me. And there was a humility that I had to understand because some people had been in the game longer. But if I know under the tone of your voice that you're not telling me so that I can be better, but rather for your own uplifting, that you're better than me kind of vibe, I'm just going to say it straight like that. Then, yeah, sometimes I would like flop in a competition. At the end, your coach is like, they're not supportive. I'll be so real. They're not supportive. They're like, oh, it's fine. Like, oh, you did well. But it's like, you know, in that voice where it's like, they don't mean it. When I come back to gym the next week, sometimes they still have that kind of attitude. Like, she did that. I do know that there's a lot of gossip that goes on in gymnastics, both between the members and also the coaches. I know for a darn fact that I was gossiped about by those coaches. I think there's even times I've caught their eye and they're looking at me and said, I'm gonna now go into like struggles with racism, struggles with mental health. I'm quite sure that there was covert racism. My mum noticed it. Guys, my mum she wasn't even there. She came maybe to drop me off sometimes. Mainly my dad dropped me off. So my mum wasn't there. She said, yeah, there's racism there. Yeah. I said, oh, yeah, there is. There is. Story time. The struggles of hair. I'm skipping my list, but guys, oh my gosh. Guys, if you want to know why my natural hair wasn't growing when I was young, it's because of gymnastics. Oh my gosh. When you're younger, you don't care how your hair looks as much. 10, 11, 12, cool. When you're older, guys, and you have gymnastics every Saturday, but you still have church the next day, and you have school for 5 days a week, you need to make sure your hair's looking good. Teenage struggles. But the most difficult part was when I started wearing wigs, and I would wear my cane rose for 6 days, take it out for gymnastics, wash it, do it again, 6 days. And everybody knows natural hair needs low maintenance. Like, we shouldn't be putting pressure on our hair. So I was literally just taking it out, and my hair wasn't growing. And I knew that my hair wasn't growing, but I was like, I don't have another option. There was an extra difficulty when I did braid hairstyles, and I would stray away from braids, box braids, whatever, back when that was a thing, because it was stressful, guys. And you think it's embarrassing having your braid on the floor in school? How about having your braid on the floor in gymnastics? Do you think it's worse? Thank God my coach didn't see. One of my teammates or gym club members, she highlighted to me that, yeah, your braid's on the floor. Not that she said it in a nice way. Anyways, yes, like, this is not my fault. My hair falls out under. Is it my fault? No. Anyway, I spent hours doing my hair before gym. Like, I would make sure that my hair was, my braids were I'll never forget, guys. I look like the craziest person. I would put my hair in a bun. I would do 3 braids to make sure that the mini braids would not fall out, and I'd wrap it around. I'd put like 1 or 2 hairbands so that it would stay. Would it stay? No. It didn't stay. It didn't stay. Guys, it didn't stay. I'm so angry right now because I know what I went through to do my hair year in and year out. And I would be like, why is the hair not staying? Why have I put in all this effort and the hair's come out? And I'm now, whilst we're doing tumbles, I've done my tumble. My hair has come out. It's come out of the band. The band has broken. I now have to say, Miss, can I go to the toilet and figure out, oh yes, fine. Or whilst I'm walking to the back of the line, Lord, I'm praying that there's a long line so that I have time to do my hair. Those times when there was only 3 of us and there was a line of 3, I would do my run or my tumble or whatever come back, there's only 2 people in front of me. I was like, God, I can't fix my hair. The story is, you know the ponytail, when it first came into style, the ponytail with the little braids and then the big one, I did that, right? I think I kept it in for 6 weeks, and I came back to gym with my hair, like, I probably just had my natural hair out, and my main coach, the coach that actually coaches me, she was like, oh, you took your hair out, wow, like you had that one in for like 6 months. What? Did I miss something? No, am I the problem? Did I miss? In terms of like mental health, I think confidence was a big thing. It took a really big toll on my confidence and the way that I viewed myself, and I kept on feeling that I was maybe difficult. It's a big B. I was difficult to deal with, or like I wasn't learning quick enough, or just things like that. On a social aspect, I felt alone, and I felt like I was difficult to like make friends with, like, because everywhere I went I just wasn't clicking with people, and I just kept on thinking, oh no, maybe I'm just not their kind of person. But like, yeah, it kind of took a toll, and I just kind of felt socially like I was just lonely, and I had to kind of keep that stance of being quiet, where I didn't actually want to. I kind of wanted to express the true person that was, which was quite expressive. I am an expressive person, so it was like I was kind of hiding a part of myself in something that meant a lot to me. The 2 words to describe mainly how I felt unseen, and I felt misunderstood. I felt undervalued, in the sense of even just things like the racism, and just feeling like it made me unworthy to kind of be taught at a higher level. And I also think it did a toll on my understanding, or my perspective of girls, just because of like the whole gossip culture and everything. And I feel like that was definitely a thing, not everywhere, not everyone, but it was a thing. And I feel like it just made me think, okay, why are we all not nice? Why I quit? I quit because of a multitude of reasons that had bundled up and kind of just almost at the point of bursting. So number one, the money, like my parents were paying too much. And the thing is, funny enough, my parents weren't complaining. They were not complaining. They weren't saying like, oh, you should quit. Like, they didn't tell me that. It was me. I kind of just had that, because I'm always thinking of that kind of stuff. It got to a point where I would tell my parents, if they're listening, I would tell them that I'm not feeling well and I don't want to go to gym because I'm not feeling well, but I was fine. Or it'd be like a little cough, or like just something small that I could totally like be doing gym with. And it got to a point where I was actually happy being home, because if I missed gymnastics, usually in the past, I would be so upset. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I've missed 1 week of gymnastics. It's the worst thing in the world. I wasn't feeling like that anymore. So I was like, if this became my reality, it wouldn't be so bad. So I think that was the main like shift that came to like actually coming out of gymnastics. The other thing was my like newfound interest in fashion. I think was probably just me kind of understanding that I was okay with exploring options and not essentially being a Olympic gymnast. Because at that time, by the way, I thought to tell you guys, I wanted to become a gymnastics coach. So I switched my dream. And part of the dream was rooted in the idea of, I can't wait to open up my own gym and be the best gymnastics coach and treat everybody equally and be nice. But that also died out too. Is this enough blush? Do you think? No, it's totally not. This is too much blush, isn't it? I became a lot more sensitive to the idea of stagnancy. What I mean by that is, when you put things logically together and you're seeing that there's money being taken out of the account, you're not elevating, you're also not happy. Why are you here? And I think it actually was an identity in Christ thing that definitely did help, because at the time that I had quit, I was getting more immersed in the church, and I was becoming closer with God and understanding myself in Him. So therefore, I guess inadvertently, because at that time I wouldn't say voice of God was a big vibe kind of thing like it is now, but as in for me, but I kind of had an inkling that this was the time to like go and let go of something that I was holding on to longer than I needed to. Found a lot of the times my identity probably was rooted in gymnastics, in being good at it, when no longer the desire to like have a career in it was there. So I was just there to kind of like prove that I could be good. As I grew older, I listened to what I wanted rather than what I thought I wanted, which was to be good at things, which was to be better, which was to prove myself wrong, or to prove that to this coach that, yeah, you should have invested in me because I became this good, I did that. My attention was now on, but how do you feel? And how much longer are you gonna strive and strive and strive? We're not called to strive. But yeah, just to kind of finish off this video, gymnastics taught me a lot about myself. It taught me how to love something. I'm not saying it's the first thing that taught me how to love something, but it also taught me how to be obsessed with something that you love. And I think this is another topic, but obsession is very important when you're going into things that you are interested in and things that you want to like take for life. That's something that you consider your baby. And I think gymnastics taught me a lot about obsession and dedication to something, even though maybe there was a point of over dedication and over like grasping where I didn't need to. It taught me how to try hard for things and also not to be afraid of trying new things as well. Because there's a daring nature that you need to have to do gymnastics as a thing. To flip is not normal. It's not a normal thing that people do on a daily basis. You don't just start flipping, do you know what I mean? So there's a mental kind of thing that you have to channel before you go on that run, before you go and do that tumble, before you go and do that vault. And I think I wouldn't trade that for anything. And I think though I've had different kinds of experiences in gymnastics, I would never trade it because I loved it so much. It was so much of my life and so much that I still carry with me, that I will still tell people, yeah, I did gymnastics, because it's a part of the identity that has grown from within me and the confidence that I'm working on within me. I wouldn't say it necessarily pushed me into fashion. I wouldn't say anything of that, but there's characters that have been developed through the craft of gymnastics. A partake of true intimacy. Okay, what lip look are we doing today? I'm gonna finish off. To end, would I ever go back? No. Would I ever compete again? No. Would I do gymnastics again? Yes. If you was asking me to do other sports, I would. Fun fact about me, before uni, I actually was gonna do cheerleading because I was choosing between Warwick and Nottingham. Whilst I was choosing, I was like, pros and cons. Nottingham have like a cheerleading team that's normal, and Warwick have a cheerleading team that's called Warwick Devils. And some people may not think that's serious, but guys, that is highly serious. We don't fight against flesh and blood. We don't play with that. The uniform, devil, black and red. I said, no. If I always tell people that if I was more like, confident like I am now, like obviously I've grown so much in the last 3 years, I would have petitioned. I would have gone around the entire campus and said, guys, I'm a petition. We're changing the name to Warwick Angels. Whether I should want to be Warwick Sunshine, Warwick Sunflower, I don't care. You're not being Warwick Devils. I did gymnastics, I did trampolining, so I did everything kind of like similar as well, apart from dance, but I don't like dancing. Was cheerleading. I could have done dance. I could have done a cheeky like ballet or contemporary, because I was a big fan of Dance Mums and Dance Academy. If you know, you know. But yeah, I don't think I'd go back, but I I've told myself that I want to be a sporty girl in my 20s. Like, I like tennis. Like I showed you guys on my Instagram that I went tennis with my friend Joella, and like I loved it so much. Like just being able to do adulting things, but still that childlike kind of like instinct. Like, oh, get to hit a ball. Like, it's so fun. Gymnastics, I might just have to, I don't know, I might just have to vicariously live through my child who is gonna do it unless they say they don't want to. Obviously I'm not gonna force them, but they're gonna start and they're gonna do it, and they're gonna do it well. I used the Inky Plumping Lip Balm. I'm still waiting on my BBL lips. You know I'm joking, right? Now to finish with some shimmer with Urban Decay. Shimmer it up. I also like to put this on my lips as well. I just feel like it gives it a really nice shimmer. But then it gets a bit messy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you did like the get ready with me. I know it wasn't like a tutorial, but I hope you liked the look that turned out. I guess I just wanted to talk to you guys about this because it was a massive part of my life. Like 7 years is a long time, and it's something that I feel like will get you to know a bit more about me. But until the next get ready with me, this is it, and I've been Angela. I love you guys. Please comment down below what y'all think. Are you surprised? Are you thinking, oh, she's a mysterious girl? No. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, party people.